Divine love and greetings, everyone. Welcome back. I just want to say I'm not a journalist, I'm not a scientist, but I do have the ability to see.
I mention this because in my last message found on YouTube, I spoke on how humanity is being used as mortal instruments, just like they have been since the dawn of civilization. You were not given a better choice to vote for deliberately. Please do not forget about earlier messages. If you go back, you'll remember when it was mentioned how Donald Trump was made to look like a jester. And today, social media writes the narrative that he's a savior. Psychological engineering indeed is a powerful tool. Be mindful of how everyone once felt about him and how things have changed now. It states that the circus that you see today is no more than a distraction from the war that looms on the horizon and for the planned societal collapse that hangs in the balance. The elections will tip that balance. Your voices should be for the return of God's influence in humanity and the reinstatement of righteous morals that the world is in need of today. In the prophecies I have shared in the past, I spoke of a world on the brink, a Cold War transformed into a trade war, with the bear, the phoenix, and the eagle poised for conflict. This has already taken place as Russia, Ukraine, China, Israel, and Iraq have all come into conflict. Today, World War III stands at a threshold held back, awaiting the declaration of our next president. The choice before you carries immense weight. It will shape the course of our shared destiny. The time draws near.
And right now we're going through the global battle for AI elements. These nations around us are vying to control Greenland and Venezuela.
Has had a ripple effect across the world, with European leaders divided over their response to the situation. Live to Annie Puller in London. Annie, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is under pressure to denounce Donald Trump.
That's right, Miley. Europe's response to Venezuela is hardening and it's leaving the UK Prime Minister increasingly isolated. France, Germany and Spain have all said the US military action violated international law, a sentiment also echoed by the UN Secretary General. But Sir Keir Starmer is refusing to go that far, insisting it's not too late for a peaceful transition to democracy and saying international law must remain the anchor before any judgment is made. Now, for a former human rights lawyer, that caution is drawing serious criticism and pressure from his own MPs. Yet when it comes to the future of Greenland, the gloves have come off. So Keir Starmer taking quite a hardline stance, saying the fate of the Arctic territory should belong to its people and the Kingdom of Denmark, really pushing back after Trump's latest comments, which raised the prospect again of US control. Trump says such a move is in the interest of America's national security, and it's raised real concerns for people living on that island.
This is a time in history where artificial intelligence is reshaping economies, defense strategies, and daily life. The raw materials powering this technological revolution have become the new oil. These AI elements are critical minerals such as lithium, rare earth elements like cobalt, nickel, graphite, silicon, gallium, germanium, and they're all essential for everything from semiconductor chips and high-performance batteries to data center infrastructures and advanced computing hardware. Without them, the explosive growth of AI would grind to a halt, as they form the backbone of energy storage for massive server farms, high-speed interconnects and accelerators, and the very wafers that hold billions of transistors and AI processors. As global demand surges, it's projected to increase over 30% in some minerals by 2030 due to these AI data centers alone, and these nations are scrambling to secure their supplies, leading to intensified geopolitical maneuvering in resource-rich, vulnerable regions like Greenland and Venezuela. It's why he wants it so bad. It's not just about economic dominance. It's a matter of national security, with the United States, China, and the European Union positioning themselves to avoid supply chain vulnerabilities that could cripple all of their AI ambitions. The stakes are so high because AI's infrastructure demands enormous quantities of these minerals. Lithium and graphite are crucial for the batteries that stabilize power in data centers, while rare earth elements like neodymium and dysprosium enable the powerful magnets in cooling systems and electric motors. Gallium, germanium underpin compound semiconductors, which are vital for these AI accelerators, and silicon itself remains a cornerstone for chip fabrication. Africa's Democratic Republic of Congo dominates cobalt production, essential for lithium-ion batteries, but diversified sources are urgently needed as AI's energy consumption is skyrocketing. The U.S. government has even deployed AI tools to map domestic mineral deposits, showing the urgency. Yet overseas hotspots like Greenland and Venezuela offer untapped potential that could tip the balance of power. Greenland, the world's largest island and self-governing territory of Denmark, sits atop a treasure trove of these AI elements, many concealed beneath its melting ice sheet. Geological surveys reveal vast deposits of rare earth elements, lithium, uranium, iron ore, copper, nickel, graphite, and more. Resources estimated to include 25 to 34 minerals classified as being important. As climate change accelerates and ice melts, these previously inaccessible areas are really opening up to draw global attention. The United States has been particularly aggressive, with President Donald Trump reiterating his interest in acquiring Greenland outright, and as recently as 2026, he said its strategic location for Arctic shipping routes and its mineral wealth are key to countering China's dominance in rare earth processing. Polls from January 2025 show overwhelming Greenlandic opposition to U.S. annexation, yet American investments and exploration continue, fueled by concerns over supply chains. China, which controls much of the global rare earth market, has expanded its influence in the Arctic through mineral deals and prompting ripple effects in regional geopolitics. The EU and United Kingdom are also in the fray. The UK, for example, is pushing sustainable strategies to access Greenland's rare earths, entering a crowded field in late 2025 to diversify away from Chinese suppliers. Companies like Critical Metals are finalizing offtake agreements for projects such as Sandbreeze, expecting closures in the first quarter of 2026, while broader competition intensifies over resources like niobium, hafnium, and zirconium. This scramble has raised environmental and indigenous rights concerns, but the allure of securing AI elements outweighs them for many nations, positioning Greenland as a potential flashpoint in the race for technological supremacy. On the other side of the globe, Venezuela's vast mineral reserves presents another battleground complicated by political instability and international sanctions. Beyond its colossal oil holdings, about 17% of global reserves, the country boasts significant deposits of gold, iron ore, bauxite, aluminum, copper, nickel, rare earth elements, and lithium, particularly in Orinoco mining areas. And that plays a huge role in all of these AI markets, especially with lithium for batteries and nickel for advanced alloys standing out as high demand items. However, demands of mismanagement, nationalism, and informal mining have hampered development, creating opportunities for foreign powers. The United States is eyeing Venezuela as a potential source to diversify critical mineral supplies, similar to its approach with Ukraine, with discussions in early 2026 suggesting a push under the Trump administration to deliberately tap into these assets amid easing sanctions. China has long been the major investor, providing loans and infrastructure in exchange for mineral access, which has heightened tensions, and it's framed potential U.S. interventions through the lens of national security and countering Beijing's influence. Even in recent events, including the capture of former leader Nicolas Maduro and shocks to the gold market pushing prices to $4,000 per ounce, have spotlighted Venezuela's minerals, though analysts warn that underinvestment and data gaps deter large-scale revival. Russia has also maintained ties, adding layers to the geopolitical mix, while the broader Latin American investment landscape in 2026 is reshaped by the regime changes and AI-driven demands. Despite those risks, including weak infrastructure and environmental degradation, nations see Venezuela's untapped lithium as rare earths and a vital asset to fuel their AI boom, leading to proxy competitions, direct diplomatic pressures, and could be war. The pursuit of these elements is the reason why immigration is taking place. Many people that are being taken will be put to work as a part of their time, and they'll be used to build the factories and servers that are being generated. Please listen to me when I tell you this. But up ahead, we are looking at a crucial time in our world, and the earth itself knows this because we're living on a creature, like one of us, and we're walking around. It feels every day, and it's feeling something is weird and something is off, and everybody does for those that are awake. And as AI continues to evolve, the battle for these elements is poised to escalate, with Greenland and Venezuela emblematic of the wider global contest. The U.S. is going to push for acquisitions and deals, and China's entrenched processing dominance with the EU's diversification efforts. It's just going to bring more conflict, trade wars, or maybe some alliances. And this year, in 2026, with Greenland's strategic shift with this race to the rare earth, Venezuela's uncertainties, and the world is watching closely, knowing that control over these minerals will determine who leads AI in the future. But to be real with you, this is going to be a moment in history where the world changes, and the way it's being done is definitely scary. Let's get real for a moment and just think, all these people that are being pulled for immigration are being pulled because they're going to be used for workers that build, or because they have some scientific knowledge, or they understand some form of computers, or they're just going to be data input workers that are going to put information in. And that doesn't, you don't have to be a scientist or a computer specialist to do that. You just have to put the information in, from books and from different resources, and they need those people to program. And you can't hire enough people to do just that. People have everyday lives, so they're bringing the people, especially through immigration, like here in America, they're locking up Hispanics because they got to take them to Venezuela where they speak Hispanic, and get them to do these jobs. And it's going to be a worldwide thing. I don't doubt that it'll probably also extend into Greenland and even toward Gaza when they finally do start building real estate and using that as the new grounds for a real estate venture. They'll probably have some of the workers that are being taken through immigration process there. So please, everybody, be careful. This is not a time to test the power structures. Please protect your families, and no violence, okay? It's a war for minerals, and it's a scary time. I just want you all to be safe, okay? So that's what's going on. Watch your back, and please, no violence. Don't fight back with violence. That's what they want. It makes them look like they have a justified motive to do what they're doing. But if you are innocent and you're soft and gentle, there will be no reason for anybody to ever have anything to say, especially like with this recent shooting in Minneapolis, which was just devastating. It's always devastating to hear of anybody getting taken or shot. And it's not that I don't agree with the president that people that are illegally here should probably go back through the paperwork to come back legally. But the idea is that you don't do it this way. This is being done violently to impose upset and fear, while also taking the people that are taken away for these greater reasons that I've just explained. It's a very scary time. Everybody in the future is going to be a little scary, but hang in there and be strong. If you want to thrive, get a job in AI. That will help you out a lot. Love and light.